wonder. I have a question. Am I the only one that doesn't really give a shit about Power of the Doctor? Don't give a shit. Don't really care at all. Am I the only one? I can't be the only one. I don't know. I don't find myself getting excited about it. I saw the little initial trailer for it when it dropped, and I was like, eh. And then, we finally got the title for it. The Centennial special is The Power of the Doctor. And I'm like, fuck, I can't just call Power of the Daleks Power anymore. It used to be, oh, I love Power. Power's amazing. Because everybody would know I meant Power of the Daleks. Or at least, classic Who fans would know. Now I'm going to have to actually say Power of the Daleks. Or maybe I'll just say The Good Power. I don't know. Power of the Doctor could be good. Chris Chibnall could surprise me. Fish could fly. Pigs could fly. I could get my hoverboard finally. Stranger things can happen. But, I don't know. I find myself completely uninterested in it. I don't, with all of the news coming out about Tennant coming back, and Donna coming back, and Wilf coming back, and I really hope Bernard Cribbins filmed all of his scenes before he passed. I really hope. I love Wilf. Coming back, and of course with all the news of Ncuti Gatwa taking over the role and Russell coming back, I just feel like a lot of the Centennial stuff's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle of everything going on. It's almost like the BBC themselves, don't really give a shit about it, honestly. They're kind of like, put that over here. Oh, look, we have all this other Doctor Who news. Oh yeah, we have this Centennial special coming out. So it's supposed to be like an hour and a half long. A Jodie Whittaker episode that's an hour and a half long. It's going to be like watching the Web Planet. I'm going to be going, it's still going! Oh, isn't it over yet? So we have Ace and Tegan coming back. I'm happy and cautious at the same time. I love Ace, I love Tegan. They're two phenomenally good companions. Am I the only one that's worried about Chris Chibnall screwing them up? First off, neither of them better die. If either of them die, I'm convinced Chibnall's going to have to hide out in a bunker somewhere. Like Patrick McGowan after he did The Prisoner, after the ending of The Prisoner, have to go into hiding for a bit. Because people will be angry. I wonder what they'll do with him. I wonder if they're, I wonder if Chibnall's going to make them like lovers or something, Because to be fair, if there's any classic companion I could see being bisexual or homosexual, it would be Tegan and Ace. Honestly, I could see that because the way Tegan's personality is, with her very feminist attitude, which is very much a reflection of Janet, honestly, in some ways, I could see Tegan being heterosexual, being homosexual, or being bisexual, honestly. I wouldn't think that would be out of character for her. And Ace, I honestly see the same way. Because Ace, and you really see that with the kind of undertones of survival. I'll be honest, I never caught that, but I know a lot of people see that. So I could really see Ace being, again, heterosexual, homosexual, or bisexual. So the idea of them having same-sex partners, I could see happening, or them being in a relationship together. I wouldn't find it as eye-rolling as some people would. I could see that happening. Although from the trailer with their phone conversation, you kind of get the idea that they're not that kind of close, since they're both talking about how long they haven't seen the Doctor, and if they were that close, they would know that. But I could, with the way politics gets injected into shows now, which is not to say politics weren't in shows in classic Who, politics were indeed in classic Who, but in the way they're injected into shows now, I could see that being done. And while it doesn't bother me as much, because again, I could see that with these two characters, I don't think it would be done because that's in their personalities, or you can see that in their personality. That could be done just because politics. But if that, I'm just saying, I bring that up because if that did happen, it wouldn't surprise me. But it wouldn't bother me either, it just wouldn't surprise me. Another problem with the show is apparently we're going to have the Daleks, the Cybermen, and the Master. That's overkill. That's way too much overkill. That is cramming way much. I get it's an hour and a half, but you don't need all three of the big bads. This sounds like fan fiction that a child would write. And I get that they're fighting them on three fronts. There's one group, I guess, taking on the Daleks, one taking on the Cybermen, one dealing with the Master. But it feels like too much. This feels like it's trying to be an epic send-off. And I feel like it's going to fall flat on its face. I feel like this is going to be grandiose and epic and over the top. And, you know, I've always said that the most self-congratulatory moment in Doctor Who, if there's ever a moment in Doctor Who where I just felt like it was masturbating to itself, it was that scene in Vincent and the Doctor when the Doctor takes Vincent to the future, because I hate that scene. I hate that scene. I feel like this could top it. I really feel like this could be Doctor Who. We're so awesome and amazing. And of course, they're going to try to make Jodie Whittaker's Doctor out to be the best Doctor ever. She's going to save the universe from the Daleks to Cybermen and the Master all at once. I feel like it's going to be over the top to try to prop her Doctor up, to try to overcome all the shortcomings her Doctor has had. And there have been many of those shortcomings, as we've talked about before in other videos about why she fails to be a good Doctor, a good incarnation of the Doctor. And I have a feeling they're going to try to, like, prop her up like a scarecrow to be this savior of humanity. She's going to go out saving the universe because, you know, she's the 15th Doctor. I just feel like it's going to be this over-the-top deal where we're fighting the Daleks, we're fighting the Cybermen, we're fighting the Master, and it's all going to fall flat. I don't think it's going to come off the way they want it to come off. I'm sure some people will love it. More power to them. I suspect, going to be disappointed. I'm trying to go in with an open mind, believe it or not. But I'm also old enough to see writing on the wall. And this whole era of the whole Whittaker Chibnall era has easily been the weakest the show has ever done. You know, other people might be like, no, look at the Colin Baker era, or oh, look at the Sylvester McCoy era. And my response to that is, yeah, actually go look at those. They're good. Season 24 is probably the most underrated season the show has ever had. Season 25 is great. Season 26 is one of the best seasons the show has ever had. Season 26 is phenomenal. Season 22 is massively underrated. Having finally watched all of Season 22 for the first time, having seen all of it, Season 22 is fantastic. Yeah, Season 23 I don't think is super great. I like Mysterious Planet. I like Terror of the Vervoids. Ultimate Foe is fine, especially when you consider all the behind-the-scenes stuff behind it. It's fine. Don't really care for Mind Warp. I do think Season 23 is probably the weakest season in the classic show, but it's still better than Series 11 by a country mile, and it's better than Flux by the country mile. But Season 22 is fantastic. I love Season 22. So the Colin Baker era and the Sylvester McCoy era are good, really good. I love the McCoy era, massively underrated. The Whittaker era, though, like Series 11 is bad. Now, as we discussed in a recent video, there are good ideas there. There are good concepts and good ideas that were planned for that season. And I talked about that before. There were some things on paper I liked. They were not executed well. Now, to be fair, I like the Ghost Monument. It's grown on me. I enjoyed Kerblam the first time I watched it. I haven't rewatched it because it's really hard to go back and watch Series 11. But for the most part, Series 11 is just awful. Bad writing. Jodie Whittaker does not have a handle on the role at this point. She doesn't even understand how to use her screwdriver besides doing this all the time. Every time. What is it with this? What is it? Series 12 was a massive improvement. I've talked before on the channel. I liked Series 12. Toward the end of Series 12, I thought I was going to have to do a video talking about how Series 12 was the best season since Series 5, probably. But then Timeless Children came along and crapped all over that. Timeless Children is awful. One of the worst series finales, season finales Doctor Who has ever had. It's just garbage. What it does to the Cybermen is garbage. What it does to the Doctor is garbage. And what it does to the canon should be illegal. I mean, it literally just takes Doctor Who canon, shoots it, stomps all over it, shits on it, wipes its ass with it, curls it up into a ball, throws it on the ground, and then lights it on fire. And I've seen this where some people in television and some fans are like, well, how important is canon? I mean, is canon really important? And I'm sitting here going, yeah, canon's kind of important. Doesn't make sense if it doesn't fit canon. You know, if you're watching a TV show and one thing that happens here doesn't make sense, what happens here is kind of weird. And don't get me wrong, anytime you have a show like Doctor Who or Star Trek or Star Wars, there's going to be the little nitpicks, things that don't quite fit, that you kind of just have to, okay, that's a thing, and then you roll on with it. Little stuff, just inconsistencies. That happens in any franchise that's been around for as long as they have. But then you have the things that really break canon, like Star Trek Discovery. I can't watch Star Trek Discovery because that breaks canon. It doesn't work. The ship, the Enterprise looks totally different. The exterior, the interior, the uniforms, characters. Like Uhura in Discovery doesn't look like anything like Uhura in the classic series. That breaks canon. Now, if you set Discovery in a parallel universe, it'd be fine. I'd be fine. That's all you have to do is do like the Kelvin timeline in the Abrams movie. Set it in a parallel universe. I'm good. But since they try to set it as a prequel to the original series in the Prime universe, doesn't work. Shatters canon. Doesn't make sense. And then you have people who run Discovery who are going, well, canon doesn't matter. We shouldn't be beholden to canon. I shouldn't have to explain to people why canon is important. That should be common sense. That should be common sense. But some people don't get it. Canon matters. Now, I love the idea of the multiverse because that means several different canons can exist. Like, say, Star Wars, when Disney made the extended universe not canon so they could do their sequel trilogy. I simply think of the extended universe as a parallel multiverse, another universe. So to me, the extended universe is canon, the sequel trilogy is canon, and then hopefully like Mandalorian and Book of Boba Fett are a separate canon from the sequel trilogy. I think of them as three different universes that are all canon, they just take place in parallel universes. I think of Discovery as a parallel universe. And Doctor Who, especially with, one of the things I love about Doctor Who is, like, say with Big Finish and books and comics, Doctor Who, the BBC never specifically says what is canon and what isn't. I like that. They've never said, Big Finish audios are canon, or they're not canon, or some are canon and some are not canon. They've never said the Season 6B theory is not canon, or if it is canon. I like the fact they kind of leave that up to the individual person to decide for themselves. I like that. For me, Season 6B is totally canon. This is just the only thing that makes sense with the two Doctors. So I enjoy that, and the Big Finish audios you can just kind of pick and choose, on your own. But yeah, canon matters. So going back to the Timeless Children, but when you make that big of a change to the canon, which is a slap in the face to William Hartnell, flat out a slap in the face to William Hartnell. Like William Hartnell, I guarantee you, if William Hartnell was alive, he would be unhappy. Going from everything I know about William Hartnell, he would not be happy with that decision. I'm willing to bet. I mean, I don't know, but I'm willing to bet. And I feel like it's an insult to his doctor. To me, the William Hartnell will always be the first Doctor. The original, you might say. And that's just how I feel. So, if I was ever the showrunner, I would retcon that Timeless Children retcon so hard. I even have a plan for that in my head if I ever did it. I ought to write a story about that. But yeah, canon matters, and Timeless Children just crapped all over it. And then we got Flux. And to be fair, Flux had to be made during the height of COVID. So a lot of concessions had to be made. And so that's not completely Chibnall's fault. That being said, Flux still is not great. The Sultan one is alright. It has a lot of problems, but it's watchable. And the Village of the Angels one is the same way. It is watchable. I like it. And I love the character of Jericho. I just think he's well written and well acted. And I hate that they needlessly killed him off for no fucking reason. But of course, if you gotta randomly kill off the character, they would kill off the one character everybody seemed to like. Did anybody really give a shit about Bender or Bell? Jericho just seemed to me like a more fleshed out character. But Village of the Angels has good moments. The ending's stupid with the Doctor turning into a statue. That's stupid. That's so stupid. That's ridiculously stupid. And the whole thing with the directive is stupid. So this era has done so many stupid things. It's just stupid, that they kind of course corrected with Eve of the Daleks. I loved Eve of the Daleks. I tend to love all of the Dalek stories to one degree or another. That's one thing Chibnall does really well. I did a whole video about that. I love his Dalek stories. He has a much better handle on the Daleks than Stephen Moffat ever did. That is the one thing I'll give Chris Chibnall. Is classic villains, actually. He actually does classic villains well. I think if the Sontaran Flux episode had been a standalone episode, like it might have been originally planned to be, it probably would have been good. I do love the fact he made the Sontarans threatening again and not just a joke like Moffat did. I will give him that. And even the Cybermen he does better. I love the Lone Cyberman. That's a great spin on taking an old enemy like the Cybermen and making them dangerous again. I will give Chibnall that. He seems to understand how to use classic Doctor Who villains for the most part. The Cybermen were still screwed over in Timeless Children. But before that, he was doing a good job with them. Better than it had been done with them in a while. But I love what Chibnall did with the Daleks. I will give Chibnall that. And then we got Legend of the Sea Devils, and I take back what I just said because that episode sucks. I will give props to the fact the Sea Devils look like the classic Sea Devils. I love the fact they were not redesigned, that they still look like classic Who Sea Devils. They didn't screw them up like they did the Silurians. I will give the episode that. Other than that, that episode sucks. It sucks and it doesn't make sense. It looks like it was edited really badly. Like I feel like a lot of stuff got cut out of that episode. Like there's that one scene when Dan just goes and he like knocks all of the people who are trained with these swords down, and I'm like, doesn't make sense. There's something about that episode that just feels rushed, completely rushed. And then just going into this finale, I don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. I don't care. Maybe it'll be good. Maybe it'll be good. I will watch it. I will definitely try to enjoy it. I'm not going in thinking, I'm going to hate this. This is going to be awful. I'm worried that's going to be the case. It's more just an indifference at this point. Complete and total indifference to it. Maybe it'll wow me. Maybe it won't. Probably won't. But at least at the end of it, we'll have Whittaker done with. We'll have Chibnall done with. Hopefully Ace and Tegan will be fine. And then we can start moving into the specials we're going to get. I'm really hoping we get one around Christmas, maybe the first one with Tennant. I really want a Christmas special. It's Russell, after all. Russell loves Christmas specials. He knows we love Christmas specials. Maybe a Christmas special. So I'm excited about that and to see. I'm far more excited about what's going on with the 60th and seeing what all they're going to do with the specials, with the actual anniversary, with bringing in Gatwa, with the collection sets they're going to release next year. I'm way more excited about the Season 2 box set coming than I am about Power of the Doctor. Are you? What are you more excited about, Power of the Doctor or the Season 2 collection box set with some Hartnell? And seeing what box sets we're going to get next year. I really wish we'd get an animation next year, but it looks like that's off the table for now. So that's my thoughts on that, which is a little longer than I anticipated. But Power of the Doctor, I don't really like that name, but it's not because I think the name is dumb. It does seem like they're going to do some pandering to the 13th, the power of the 13th Doctor. I think they're going to pander her and prop her up and make her more than what she is. But mostly it ticks me off because it sounds too similar to Power of the Daleks. So now when I talk about Power of the Daleks, I'll have to actually say Power of the Daleks instead of just talking about Power's amazing, Power's one of the best. It's David Whittaker. Now I have to Power of the Daleks. That just annoys me. So I'd like to know what you think. What do you think of the Centennial special, The Power of the Doctor? Are you excited about it? Are you unhappy about it? Do you really give a shit? Are you like me and you're just like, well, it's a thing, it's happening. Let's get it out of the way and move on to the next thing. Give me some more Tennant. I'd like to know what you think, so comment down below, because I always enjoy hearing from you guys. Other things to do, click the like button, and the subscribe button, and the bell for notifications, so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon, if you like what I do, and would like to contribute to what I do. There's a link to that down in the description below. Check that out. Several different tiers to choose from. I also have a P.O. box if there's anything you would like to send me to review, Doctor Who or sci-fi related or anything you think I might be interested in or you might want to hear me talk about. Check that out. And I also have a link to my Amazon wish list as well. I update that regularly. Most importantly, I want to give a shout out to two of my top tier patrons, Stephen Crane and the Fifth Doctor, and all of my patrons. I want to say thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you, and to all of my subscribers. We crossed over 800 recently. I want to say thank you as well. I appreciate your support. And also, most importantly, thank you for watching.